Hey, welcome to the God's Great Land of the Wild. Almost slipped. Almost said Brent Rock. Welcome to the God's Great Land of the Wild radio show. Man, we're excited to have you here. Of course, Sam's here with me. You doing good?
Hey, I'm doing good. Anytime we're going to be talking about turkey, I'm sitting here with one. Get that punch in before you do.
Oh,
But,
man.
yeah, it's going to be a fun day.
It was. You walked in and you looked like a wet duck. I was sort of like, man, we ought to be duck hunting with all the rain we've been having.
ya.
But, well, we're here and with the God's Great Land of the Wild radio show. And you'll be, like I said last week, you'll be noticing some changes. And next week's going to be awesome because Sam and I yesterday got done with the new opening intro for God's Great Land of the Wild, which is smoking hot if you ask me. We did it, but it's just really good for an outdoor show. So we're excited about that, bringing that to you. Of course, the website is going oh so slow. I'm still actually trying to find somebody that is the caliber and quality we need to do what we want to do. So if you know, our email addresses are posted up on Facebook.com, God's Great Land of the Wild, and they can go in there and send either you and I an email, and we'll follow up with them. Yeah, we would, because it's just tough. And I want to find somebody local that we can work with hands-on.
Yeah.
And I know you're actually looking for somebody for the church, too, so they'd probably get two jobs with one stone. So anyway, but all that, like we said last week, you're going to continue to see these changes and these upgrades, and we'll continue to move forward like we do with the outdoor teaching and interviewing people about what their passions are and what they like to do, from skydiving to scuba diving, any type of adventure. We're into it. I even hear sometime this summer we may be doing base jumping out of balloon. And
Are you going to be jumping?
I got you down as the number one guy.
I'd like to record that scream all the way down.
I will do that. I'm just telling you.
You would just scream.
I would. No, I won't. Not like, no. Might have an old sock in my mouth, but I'm not screaming like a girl. Just saying. Anyway, and if you haven't liked us on our Facebook page, right, Facebook.com, God's Great Land of the Wild, you need to do so, because the drawing for this month, for March, the end of March, is a custom-made chestnut box call out of 100-year-old chestnut. Okay, this was before the worms got to it. All right, made by our buddy Don Morris out of Mount Vernon, Indiana. He's donated one for us to give away.
It's a beautiful call too,
and sounds sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be up at his church later on this month speaking, and I might tell him, I'm sorry, dude, but I'm not leaving without a call. So
get one of your own.
I might try.
I think you've got enough wild game calls.
I'm a collector, so you never have enough.
You've got a whole suitcase.
I might bring one back for you, $50. But
yeah.
So anyway, if you want to be in that drawing, you have to click the like button up in the upper right-hand side, the big like button, and actually become a friend on Facebook. Well, it's not a friend. It's the like button to follow us and that sort of stuff. So anyway, that's in the upper right-hand side. You won't want to miss that. And all of March for us is going to be turkey hunting month. Matter of fact, I think Georgia starts sometime later on this month.
Yes, Georgia, and probably South Carolina also.
Probably South Carolina. I know North Carolina swings in that first week in April.
14th, I think, somewhere around
there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where Tennessee's at, or Virginia and all those, but we're all grouped within 2 or 3 weeks of each other. So March is turkey hunting month. Man, we're going to have a call builder on later on in the month. Hopefully we're going to have some National Wild Turkey Federation people on. We may even have a taxidermist on telling us how to prepare and cape our turkeys to take them to the taxidermist. So we got a whole lot of turkey hunting stuff coming. Today's show is going to be a primer for turkey hunting, scouting. If you struggle with a lot of people like calling, okay, we're going to be talking a lot about calling. Sam and I are both pretty good at doing that, at least by the number of turkeys we shot.
Hey, the turkeys think we're all right.
Yeah, I know.
That's what counts.
I tell you the truth, it is. So anyway, March is turkey hunting month. So just mark Tuesday nights on your calendar, or you can go to Ustream off the 95.7 thechoice.com's website. All right, and you can get to it there too. But again, you got to click the button to have a chance to win. And this is sort of a melancholy time of the year for me because it's coming down to the end of hawking season. You know, so I flew cat for the last time in North Carolina last week. Man, we had a bunch of rabbit chases. First rabbit chase we've had all year. I actually found a new hunting spot loaded with rabbits. And I'm going to my brother's this weekend to help him out with a couple things at his house. He's building the house. But Georgia's season is open to the middle of March. So I'm going to take Cat with me. We're going to go down there. That's going to be the last hoorah. And then after that, sometime in mid-April, I'll be turning her loose on some choice piece of field that's got plenty of rabbits, squirrels in the woods, mice and rats, and all that sort of stuff. And she will once again be her own girl.
So she'll be free.
She will be.
Just how much does this improve her chances of surviving?
Oh. Mortality rate first year on a juvenile red-tailed hawk is 75 to 80%. Now, she got all the benefit of the hunting experience without any of the detriments, not eating, not ready for a cold front coming through.
Cars, they get killed a lot on the side of the road.
They do.
I see that.
You know, so she has all the benefits of the experience of learning how to hunt and become an accomplished small game animal killer. Okay, which she is.
Yeah.
There's no messing around with this hawk. I mean,
good.
You know, so anyway, she's set to go. When I turn her loose in April, it'll be a warm time of the year, and I fatten her up. I take her weight way up, so
she'll have a red tail, big red tail.
She'll be
hawk.
starting to get it in. Yeah. She won't quite have it all in then, but she'll do fine. She'll go right back into the breeding population, and hopefully a couple, maybe a year or two from now, I'll be trapping her offspring because I know where I.
So the answer to the question would be 75% better?
Well,
rate?
after they make their first year, their average life expectancy is 7 to 9 years.
Okay.
So
you got her past that first year,
Yeah.
and
yeah, she'll do fine. So anyway, you know, when people always say, does that make you sad? Well, not really, because I do it with the idea and the expectation that I know. Now, some hawks I'll keep 2 or 3 years. I got a lot of stuff to do this summer, so I really don't want to have to take care of babysit a hawk all summer long. Yeah. So I'm going to cut her loose and let her do her thing.
You know, we're talking about turkey hunting today.
Yeah.
A red-tailed hawk sure will make a turkey gobble when it screams.
They do that too, and we're going to be talking about that too in the locating turkeys, because we got some good, interesting stuff on locating.
Right.
But they do. But anyway, and then on the outdoor life segment, we're going to be talking about hunting lone turkeys are easy. Okay, when I see a big gobbler show up and he's by himself, I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is going to be a whole lot easier than if 4 or 5 show up.
Yeah.
Not always, but most of the time it's been my experience. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Lone gobblers are easier to hunt.
Looking for some company.
Exactly. So we're going to be talking about that in the outdoor life segment. So you want to stick around for that. But right now we're going to take a partner break, and we'll be right back, and we'll see you after these messages.
Supporting the local community. WGNW 95.7, The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511, or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
95.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
Welcome back to the God's Great Land of the Wild radio show. This is your host, Brent, with my buddy here, Sam. And on today's show, we're going to be talking turkey and turkey calling and turkey hunting and turkey. And I mean, you know.
Turkey jerky.
Exactly, because if you're good, you'll be making turkey jerky, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, real close to that time of the year for us. I love turkey hunting, man.
It's probably my favorite hunting season of the year.
Yeah.
Just because it's such a challenge.
It is.
Because naturally what happens is a gobbler will gobble and the hen comes to the gobbler, to the tom. Well, what we try to do is reverse that logic.
Yeah.
And we try to act like a hen and get the gobbler to come to us.
Exactly.
And it doesn't supposed to work that way. So if you can pull it off, you've really done something spectacular.
And I agree. And just the whole calling and the decoys and in close, in your face. You know, when you get a turkey on in and it's doing what they call a spit and drum, you know, where they're drawn in this air and they're vibrating their wings and that air sac is going and you're that close that you can hear them, and then they gobble and exactly. And then they gobble and it's sort of like, oh my gosh. That's right there, you know. I mean, it's just like I like my hunting, up close and personal.
Yeah.
You know?
So it freaks you out when they come in from behind you.
I know.
And gobble down your
back.
Yeah.
You know, because I had a time last year where I had, well, we'll talk about stories later on.
We get carried away and just
yeah,
totally
we
get
will.
off track here.
Man, I mean, when you got birds that are 5 yards from you, you know what I mean, and they're looking around for you because they heard calling was coming from there, but that's part of our tactics we'll talk about. So let's do this. Let's take this in an order of some scouting tactics so we can get our radio listeners sort of primed up for turkey hunting. And a lot of our listeners may know this stuff, but we also got a lot of people that are newbies to turkey hunting, so to speak. And it never hurts to refresh and understand the basics of turkey hunting, to be on your game. Because each and every year I always end up making a mistake, and I'm like, man, I know that.
Yeah.
This happened to me 3 years ago. This bird did the same thing. You know, and it's
Yeah, well, it's such an exciting hunt.
Yeah.
You make mistakes.
fall apart.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I remember one time on a mountain that
Yeah, I did
somebody
too.
fell apart
Oh,
when I
my
called in a
gosh.
turkey.
Matter of fact, that's part of it. You know,
That was you.
I know. I fell apart, and I usually don't fall apart, but I did when I called one in for Trevor too, and that
Yeah.
bird came into about 8 yards. I was shaking like a leaf. But anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Scouting tactics. Of course, a big one is listening for them, getting out before the season. I don't know that you need to get out any more than several days before the season. You get out on a nice morning when the wind isn't blowing and it's nice and chilly, where you can hear a pin drop for several hundred yards, and you stand out there and you just listen in different places early in the morning, listening for those birds to gobble.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing the first signs of spring. It's like the first days it starts getting into above 50, the toms start strutting. I mean, it's like they are eager to try to pull together their harem. So they start gobbling early.
Yeah.
So if you are like us and people are out getting up their deer stands, putting together all their, checking their cameras, taking down their cameras, just scouting the areas for next year for deer season, you'll see turkey sign everywhere. That's the primo time to find where the turkeys are, where they're
Yeah.
using.
Oh, absolutely. So you're out, you're listening, then this is what you're talking about. You're out deer hunting and you know food sources.
Yeah.
Whether that's an old cornfield, whether that's a white acorn grove, whether that's, I'll give you a good one, okay? We've got a farm that we hunt on that's a dairy farm that also feeds back vegetables,
Yeah.
right, to the cows. And what do the turkeys end up doing?
They eat the seeds out of
They
vegetables.
come in looking for the vegetables.
Yeah.
So knowing that that's what they do, I'm patterning those birds. And typically when that happens, and you know this, they're not roosted far from there, are
Yeah,
they?
no.
If you're seeing them after you get done listening in the morning and now it's daylight out and they're down on the ground, and now comes the secondary scouting where we can start driving around and I'm checking food sources
Yeah.
with binoculars. I don't want to get up in their face. I don't want to be doing a lot of calling. I might use a locator call, and we'll talk about those locator call here in a minute, right? But I'm not wanting to educate the turkeys before the opening bell even rings, right?
Right.
So knowing that, that's one of the places I stop in the morning is the feed bin to see, oh yeah, the turkeys are still using this like they did last year. Much doesn't change, does it?
Nope. Same thing with water. You know, they have to have a water source.
Yep.
So, you know, you find an area, and it's usually where they roost.
Yeah.
They're pretty close. It's either in the evening or in the morning, but they've got to have water just like we do.
Yeah. So now I'm out and about and I'm walking around. I've checked my food sources with my binoculars, but I'm out and about and I'm walking around. I'm going to go down to one of our old food plots, you know, for deer and stuff like that. And I'm looking to see sign of gobblers outside of gobbling, which is hearing, but a visible sign. A lot of people don't know this about turkey poo. I know you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always tell when you run into, when there's a gobbler around, and it might be a strutting area,
Yeah.
you know, male gobbler turkey poo is J-shaped.
Yep.
So when you look down and you see that J-shaped hook, it's like there's a gobbler there.
Yeah.
Hens have a dob, a button, right? So it's just a straight dob. So you can look down and say, well, and typically where there's hens, there's going to be gobblers. But that J-shaped poo, turkey poo,
Guaranteed. Yeah.
is letting you know that he's here.
Yeah.
You know, so now I got to
I wonder
know.
why that is. I know it's true. But,
Okay.
But I don't know why.
Here's what I was told to talking to a biologist. And this is what I asked him that, and this is what he said. Male turkeys, when they're pooing, are moving. So you get the J-shaped hook.
Huh.
Hens, he said, poo standing still. Maybe it's, I'm going to get a little crazy here.
You're now going to be known as the poo master.
It's
I
okay.
can see it
Scat
now.
master. Yeah, I'm the scat master. I like
Winnie the
that.
Pooh.
Yeah, maybe it's the same as guys pee standing up, women pee sitting down. I don't know. I don't want to get too.
That's not good.
Oh, wait, Pete's coming close. Shh, shh. No, maybe it's the same as that. But he told me male turkeys move when they go poop, so it
That makes
gives it the
sense,
J-shaped hook. Okay, so I haven't questioned him. I've just went along with it because I know that holds true. J-shaped and
Yep.
dobs. Okay, so what other type of areas we're looking for?
Well, you know, turkeys, their feathers, when it rains, all of the dust and everything come out of their wings. So they have to keep air in their wings or they're not able to fly.
Right.
You know, a lot of times you'll see turkeys when it's raining in a big field. I like to think of a turkey as a big bird, and it's sort of like a 747. You know, it needs a long runway.
Right.
That's true when it's raining. When it's not, boy, they can fly up in a tree just in a snap.
Right.
And right up to the top of it, too. But what you do is you look for areas or right around the corner of a field where there's red dirt or dust or sandy areas, and you'll see little bowls or big bowls sometimes where turkeys like to get in there and throw dust over their feathers and get their wings dried out, and it just really helps them when they're flying.
Yeah. So yeah, they like to go in there and scratch it. And so if you're new to an area, you're looking for those areas. If you know those areas, I can about go to certain areas every year, the areas that I'm hunting, and
Right.
know I'm going to find some
gonna
there.
be there.
I know where they're at, you know, and there's typically not one turkey using it. For some reason, it's sort of like a deer scrape. It's a community dusting
Yes.
area, and they go in there, and they all seem to dust in several of the same areas.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I know when it rains, but turkeys are edge creatures.
Oh yeah, well, their number one sense is their eyes.
Yeah.
So they want to stay right at the corner of a field so they can see danger they'll even get right in the middle of a field because
Yeah.
they know that you're not going to be able to get to them. They
Yeah.
can fly and get away from them.
And later in the tips, tricks, and tactics segment, we're going to talk about how you handle a turkey that's strutting out in the middle of a field. Or we've got an area where we've got an oxbow river that goes through, and there's several shade trees.
Yeah.
They'll put that river at their
Right.
back, you know, underneath that shade tree, and they can see you coming for several hundred yards. How do I connect with that? You can't call him in. He's smart enough to know
Yeah.
better. Okay. So how do I connect? We're going to talk about that too. So they do like open areas and the edge areas. I mean, obviously they're into eating acorns, and you'll find them in the woods, but edge areas are particularly strong.
Yes.
And both you and I both like to work those areas. What about patterning your gun?
Well, that's real important. You know, I bought a new gun one time, and I was out in Kansas turkey hunting, and I thought, well, you know, it's a shotgun. It's not gonna, you know, who can miss with a shotgun? Well, I call in a turkey at 30 yards, and I shoot and totally missed the turkey. It flabbergasted me. I was like, how in the world did I miss a turkey at 30 yards? You know, a shotgun pattern, of course, with the full chokes, it's
Right.
pretty tight
Right.
at 30 yards, but, you know, still I'm shooting a 18-inch pattern. So I think, how in the world can I miss? Well, I go back to the lodge where we're at, and I pattern my gun, and I shoot it, and it is shooting about 1.5 foot high.
Yeah.
Now, people don't think of shotguns as something you have to sight in or you have to move your sights around because it shoots hundreds of pellets.
Right.
But it's very important to know where your pattern is hitting because, you know, just like anything else, you want to aim where the most of your pattern is concentrated so you can get the best hit on the turkey.
Absolutely. And you know, matter of fact, for some of the resources that I put up there, one of them is we've got a turkey video out called God's Great Land of the Wild, the Gospel on Hunting Boss Gobblers.
Yeah.
And we've got a blooper section in there, and that blooper section is misses.
Yeah.
And it's from not patterning your shotgun.
That's right.
100% of the time.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if I know it shoots 1 foot high, I compensate for that, and I'm good. But
Or
when
you can buy
don't-
these. You can buy these sights now that stick onto your ridge, and you know you can adjust your sights now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
But patterning your gun, it doesn't have to be complicated. A piece of paper, you know, putting your spot on there, pulling the trigger, a piece of cardboard. Okay, yeah, it shoots right on, or it shoots 6 inches high and 2 inches to the right, so I know I'm in the ball game. But I'm like you. I've shot and missed birds before, and then went back and patted, known
Yeah.
30 yards, 20 yards, and known that you're dead on, and find out, my gosh, this thing shoots to the left,
Yeah.
1.5 feet. You know,
Well, you know, another mistake. Actually, what I did in Kansas that time is I did pattern my gun, but I wanted to be a cheapo, and I took low brass shells, and I went out and patterned my gun at about 20 yards, and it hit. I was like, well, this shot real good.
Yeah.
Well, the low brass shells are going, I don't know, 800, 900 feet per second, whereas the high brass 3.5-inch magnums are going 1,300 feet per
Right.
second. So it's twice the speed, so they're not going to drop.
right.
So that was my fault, is I used low brass shells. What you want to do is use the shells that you're going to hunt with to pattern your gun. That's
Yeah.
important.
Well, listen, we're going to talk locating calls, but running a little long on this segment. So we're going to pick them up in the next segment along with turkey calling. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to actually be talking turkey, locating calls, and turkey calls, and we're going to be going over some of the most used calls to call an old gobbler in real close. So we're going to take some partner breaks. You're listening to God's Great Land of the Wild radio show, and we'll be right back with more turkey tactics.
WGNW 95.7 The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511 or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
We're back, and you're listening to God's Great Land of the Wild radio show, and we're talking turkey with Sam and myself. And we didn't in the last segment. Sam, I want to run through these quick locator calls.
All right.
Okay. Of course, you can use the hoot owl, right? And turkeys will do what they call shot gobble to that. Typically, use that call when?
What, the shot gobble?
Well, the owl.
In the morning?
In the morning before daylight, right when the sun's starting to come up.
Right.
They'll shot gobble back at that. An old Tom will. Then we got a crow call, which later on in the afternoon or once the sun comes up, they may be on the ground. Exactly. And you like to keep those calls short because you don't want the bird gobbling over top of it and you're not hearing the bird, right? So, and I use those early in the season.
Yeah, they hear people blowing a crow call from one end of the county to the other.
Exactly.
I mean, every hunter that comes in the woods has got a crow call.
So Pavlov's theory of crow call, owl call, pressure.
No gobble.
No gobble after a while. I mean, they're pretty smart. They're going to get smart. So I might use them in the beginning couple days of turkey season, and then we move on to, now this is one of our secret weapons for locating, right? We're moving on to something else, aren't we? By that time, I'm putting away my owl call and my crow call, and I'm moving to, we talked red-tailed hawk.
Yep.
Turkeys will gobble on red-tailed hawk. Or, my favorite, coyote call.
Yep.
They'll shot nobody.
Or the fire truck that usually comes by here. Every program we have, if a siren goes off, they will gobble.
They will gobble at a siren if there happens to be, there's a factory around or something like that. But anyway, so there's a primer on shot gobbling calls. Now I want to, though, move on into actual turkey calls.
Okay.
Okay. I've posted up on the website also. Night and Hail has a great turkey hunting DVD. I've actually posted that link up there, and it's actual recordings of wild turkeys.
Yeah.
Over an hour of them. A great, if somebody wants to hear a wild turkey and start to mimic those sounds, this is how I've learned a turkey call. Listening to the wild turkeys, but also making recordings or finding recordings. And you can find them online too. Okay, I might even have I might even have a link up there for that too. All right, I do. So anyhow, a cluck,
Yeah.
right? Give me a cluck for a turkey call. Exactly. And
You got to be careful with that cluck though. If you get too aggressive, if you get loud with it, it's a putt.
Exactly.
And that's a danger.
That's
you
a
don't want to
danger.
do that. You just want to go just soft.
Exactly. And if you can do some of these calls, you're going to call in turkeys.
Yes.
You know?
You don't have to be fancy to call in turkey.
No, you don't. Actually, sometimes simple is the
It's
best.
better. Yes.
You know, if they're gobbling at you and they're moving in and you got them coming your
Yeah.
way, that's the best. And we're going to talk about some other tactics of what I do when they're not coming to me. Because,
Right.
like you talked about earlier, we're reversing nature. We're calling the gobbler into us. Typically in nature, the hen goes to the gobbler.
Right.
He's got his strutting area. He's gobbling, you know, and we're trying to reverse that and say, no, you need to come to us.
Right.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. When it doesn't is when you kind of got to get resortful. Okay, purrs. Another not very
And they do that when they're feeding.
and when they're content.
Yes.
You know, and actually, you
It's-
could probably
It's like a safety call, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's like, yeah, we're over here, we're eating, we're content. And actually, if you know how to
This food is good.
exactly, if you know how to cluck and you know how to purr, and by the way, we're using several different turkey calls, and we'll talk to people why you do that. But if you know how to cluck and you know how to purr, well, by gosh, just
That's
put
all
them
you
together,
need. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that again, I'm feeding, I'm content. It's a low sound, right? Man, I'm just
don't
over here
have to
relaxed.
get fancy.
No,
Don't have to get fancy.
you don't. Now the putt, like we talked about,
There you go. Yeah.
and they'll be standing straight up
That
in the air
means
with their head up
they
and they're looking.
see you.
That means danger, Will Robinson.
They
danger.
see you. Yep.
Now, why would somebody want to learn how to putt then?
Well, it's very rare that you would use that,
Correct.
but
Certain time you would use it.
if a turkey possibly goes on alert and starts looking and he sees the decoy that you have out, then if you putt, he may think that you see what he saw and come towards you.
Right.
So you're saying, come on, there's danger.
Yeah. Another time I'll do that is if we hunt some fields that get tall grass sometimes.
Yeah.
If turkey's got his head down, he's now facing in a position where his tail isn't towards me,
Yeah.
and I can putt and he'll stick his head up.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
You know,
That's usually when you're getting ready to shoot.
Exactly. It's sort of like putt, stick your head up, bang.
Yeah.
Because if you give him much past that,
Well, as soon as you putt, they're going to stick their head up and look around and see what's there.
and their next instinct is to run. Adios, amigo, in turkey.
yeah.
The putt is. All right, a tree call. Tree calls are usually early in the morning. Turkey's up in a tree. It's before full daylight. Maybe daylight is breaking. Go ahead, give us a tree call.
Yeah.
And it's very soft. Yeah,
It's real soft.
real soft, not a whole lot. A turkey is, you got to be thinking, I'm waking up, you know, the sun's coming up. Exactly. And you may get a gobble off that. You may even hear another hen talking to the gobbler. I mean,
Yeah.
I love being
But
in
it's
the
so
woods, man.
soft that you won't even realize it's a turkey if you're sitting in the woods.
Exactly.
Unless you've heard it before.
Exactly. But very good just to let a gobbler know. Let's say you were out today, you know they're roosting in that tree, you get in there early in the morning, and you're being quiet, the sun starts to come up. A lot of times they might start gobbling on
Right.
their own.
Right.
I might do that call once. He gobbles at me, gobbles, gobbles, gobbles. I might do it again. He knows where I'm at. They got a memory like a
Oh,
vice,
yeah.
man. They know exactly where you're at. Now, if there's another hen around that's calling back to him, I might be a little bit more aggressive in saying, no, come on over here.
Yeah.
You know, but it's hard to outcall the hen,
Yeah.
the real hen. But a fly down cackle. This is representing what happens when a hen flies down to the ground, right? Or a gobbler flies down to the ground. They make a racket when they fly
Yep,
down, don't
they? They do.
Some specific things before I have you. You gonna do one?
If you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was afraid it's going to be so loud it'd blow the mic out.
And then that ruffling, we like to mimic a turkey's wings coming down to the ground, right? So, and then you can even take your hand and have some leaves there and be thrashing them around and banging some sticks around. I mean, you're letting. Now I'm gonna tell you, I think you need to be careful with fly down cackle. Here's the reason why. If that gobbler's up in the tree, I like to use it after the gobbler has flown down to the ground.
Yeah.
Because if you do it beforehand, he may be thinking, I'm sitting up here in a tree gobbling. She's coming to me. I'm going to stay up here in a tree, and I'm going to look around until I see her.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to fly down to her. So I don't want to give him that idea. I want to hear him fly down, and when he hits the ground and is done gobbling 2 or 3 times, then I'm doing a fly down call.
Try
Okay?
to turn him towards you.
Exactly. I'm trying to get him moving towards me. So there's an art to some of this that you learn over the years, don't you? All right, so we don't get caught running out of time. Just double check it here because there's a lot of calls, yeah. And you don't have to know all these, but these are some that end up working. An assembly call, we won't get into that. That's just a series of yelps that go along that a hen will do. I've seen them walking through the woods, just walking, yelp, yep, 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 yep. They're looking for another turkey, you know. A plain yelp, just an, exactly, all right? And I'm going to tell you, if you can do that yelp, you'll kill a turkey.
Yeah.
This other stuff you can get away with knowing, and it's good to know when to use
This
them.
other stuff will get you in more trouble than it'll help you. If you can just do a yelp and a cluck, you'll kill more turkeys with those 2 calls than you will anything else.
I agree. If you know nothing else but to just do it quiet and do it regular
And be quiet.
and be quiet,
Your goal is to try to make that Tom find you.
exactly.
If it's easy for him to find you, he's not going to come.
No. And you know, they hear so well.
Yeah.
And they know exactly where the sound is coming from. Don't be fooled.
Yeah.
You think, well, they're looking around. I had a time last year where I had 2 gobblers come into a bottom. You know this because you were watching them with binoculars and you texted me. And I could see them down there in the bottom, and I called, and then they could see me, so I laid off a calling because I was just leaning up against a tree.
Yeah.
I got caught out in the open, leaning up against a tree, head net, and I watched those birds wander around there for an hour, gobbling and trying to get the hen to come to them. I thought they were going to walk away from me. They were getting about ready to go over the crest, and I just, yerp, 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 and I stopped. And they walked 300 yards back to the
Straight to you.
within 5 yards of me. I let them come in, and they were looking for me, man. I mean, it was incredible. I wish I had a video camera because they were. I think I did take a little bit on my phone and send it to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they were close. But okay, a cut. Now these are often mixed with yelping, and cutting is a sign that turkeys are excited, not alarmed, but they're excited.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll actually cut back and forth. And I've actually had turkeys that were walking away that we started doing that. You remember down in Georgia?
Yep.
And that bird turned around. They were going away.
Came
That
right
bird
back to
turned
you,
around
yep.
and come right back looking for us.
Yep.
Made good video. He's actually on the Gospel on
yeah, he
Boss
is.
Gobblers
Yeah.
video. The Kiki run, you do this real well. This is another specialty call. And it just sets you apart from other guys that don't know how to do it. And again, getting a DVD and listening to this while you're driving around your car and then trying to mimic it,
Yeah.
because it's going to take you a while.
Yeah,
And that
it's a
call's best
real-
done with a mouth call.
Real high pitch. And what it mimics is the hen calling to her little chicklets, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
turkey baby.
Yeah.
But as they're growing up, they'll stay with the hen even when they're young adults. And they call back and forth, and that's how they group back together.
Yep, they do. And then the gobble. Go ahead, you do the gobble call. He does that with his mouth. I lost my gobbler call, but now why in the world would you use a gobbler call when the hen's calling a gobbler? Now you're going to use a gobbler call.
Competition.
Competition,
Make
baby.
him think there's a guy moving in on his girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when we tag team hunt a lot of times, if we got a bird that's hanging up or with other hens,
One of us will stay there, and the other one starts backing up,
calling and gobbling and hen calling and gobbling like man, I'm with a bunch of hens over here, and I'm in your territory,
I mean,
buddy.
if a gobbler thinks there's one hen there, he's not going to be so quick to run in.
Right.
He'll try to get her to come to him, and he may play around a little bit. But if he starts hearing another gobbler come in from behind on his turf,
Yeah.
he's going to get excited.
Or here's another thing that's happened: the gobbler don't have to come. The hens are used to going to the gobbler. If in her mind she views this as a more dominant gobbler, she starts going, and guess who comes along with her?
Yep.
The gobbler
Old
comes
gobbler,
along.
yep.
And we've had that happen on a number of occasions.
Well, and also the hens. If you can't pull the gobbler and he's got hens with him,
Pull
you
the
can get
hens.
aggressive with the cutting, and the hen gets they're more territorial than the gobbler.
That fight and purr
Yeah.
that you can end up doing where they're fighting and stuff like. And if you ever hear them in the wild, man, they are loud.
Oh, it's crazy.
They're ripping the woods down.
Yeah, and when the hen starts leaving the gobbler, he starts following them. So if you can call the hens to you, more than likely he'll come in too.
Yep, that's it. So, all right, we're going to be running behind the whole entire way. Man, it just seems so short when we get into this stuff. Sam and I are talking turkey, scouting, calling, and hunting, and we'll be right back with more God's Great Land of the Wild radio show on 95.7 The Choice.
Supporting the local community. WGNW 95.7 The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511, or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
Welcome back to God's Great Land of the Wild radio show, and we're talking turkey scouting, calling, and hunting. And now we're into the tips and tricks. We're going to need to fly through this, Sam, if we're going to get
Let's
it
do it.
all in.
Hey,
okay?
we're flying.
All right,
Wings are
tips
spread.
and tricks. Close the distance. We already talked about this one once before. If you're by yourself and this happens, I've done this where, a lot of times the gobbler will move close into you, and he may be coming your way. And then sometimes that old hen we're trying to call says, no, I don't want the competition. And she heads back low. So we've had turkeys come
Back and forth,
within
yeah.
real close, not being able to see them. This typically happens in woods and then takes the gobbler back away. And it's sort of
Yep.
this bouncing back
Sounds
and
like the
forth.
gobbler's at 150 yards, then all of a sudden he's at 200. Then
Exactly.
Yeah, he comes.
So if you're by, the one tip and trick we talked about, if there's two guys, wait till they move to their farthest, move up as close as you dare without spooking a bird. The other guy starts to call and starts to drop back.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll pull them within range of seeing a decoy or come looking for you. You don't always need a decoy. They'll be looking for you.
Right. Sometimes a decoy is harmful.
They are sometimes. That one day, those two gobblers I had walking around me didn't have a decoy out.
Yeah.
But man, it was amazing how they just came right to me. But anyway, so closing the distance can work. Now, we talked about toms out in the middle of a field. A real good tactic for that is a layout blind like they do for duck hunting or goose hunting. You know, the layouts that pop open. Or you can just get some of that leafaflage camo and get you a stone pillow or a backpack and pull that up on you. Get out in the field real early in the morning. Pop out a couple hen decoys, and the gobblers understand you can put them in a position like that a hen mates in, down low on the ground, like she's receptive and ready, and then have like a young Jake, okay?
Yeah.
And man, people don't realize as outdoorsmen, we're perceptive. We watch everything, right? Mm-hmm. When I put out a decoy, I even watch how I'm putting it out. Because when a gobbler comes up to a hen, he approaches her from the back.
Yeah.
If a gobbler comes up to a jake, he's going to approach him from the front. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to put that decoy facing straight away from me so that when that gobbler, let's say it's a jake decoy, when he comes in to fight the other one, he's looking right at me. So I want to put the face not looking at me like the jake's looking at something, but quartered away where that bird's coming in and maybe sideways, facing that bird head on or facing the back part of the hen. And I just position the bird to end up shooting it. And it is amazing how well that stuff works.
Yeah. Also, a tom in the middle of a field, if you have these big hay bales, 6-foot diameter hay bales, if you can get, to where you're in line with one of those, you can walk right to the hay bale and he'll never see you. And you can even sometimes stick a decoy out to where when he moves a little bit, he'll see the decoy and it'll come right to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are all things that we've actually cut our teeth on experience-wise. Here's the biggest, I think, mistake people made. Calling too loud or too close.
Yep.
Too
much.
And too much.
Yeah.
If it's really windy and I'm standing in a gap, I start out calling low in case I got birds close.
Right.
And then I may work my way up in pitch and volume until I'm really reaching out there. But I just don't show up at a gap and because this call will call a long ways. But
that's going to scare Tom will never gobble. He's
he's
30
like, who's
yards
doing
away.
that?
Yeah.
That little retarded turkey. So you start out. Didn't mean to be unpolitically correct, but so you start out, low, and when birds are moving in close and they're in eyesight, you don't call.
Yeah.
The toughest thing is to give them time to do what they need to do and coming on in and making sure everything's okay, right?
Yep, that's right.
So, all right. Well, I've had a great time sharing with our listeners, and I wish we had a little bit more time, but I want to make sure we have a little bit of time for the outdoor segment, for the outdoor life segment, talking turkey and turkey hunting. And the other 3 weeks of this month, we're going to be talking lots of turkey.
Yes.
Okay, so if you felt like you didn't get enough, good. Come back on next week because we're going to have, like I said, turkey call makers on. So we'll be talking more about making turkey calls and using decoys and what people are doing to end up, fostering the continued comeback of the National Wild Turkey, okay, through the NWTF and things like that. So if you want to find out more, I've got a lot of those links on Facebook.com, God's Great Land of the Wild. So follow those links. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with the Outdoor Life segment, how lone turkeys are easier to hunt. You'll need to stick around and find out why.
Supporting the local community. WGNW 95.7, The Choice.
95.7 The Choice would like to thank Dry Pros for their generous support. Dry Pros has 27 years of experience in the cleaning, restoration, mold remediation, and waterproofing of homes and businesses just like yours. Whether it's a routine cleaning or restoration from flood damage or mold, the team at Dry Pros has the experience to get it done right the first time. Cleaning all types of floors, windows, fine area rugs, and upholstery, they cover it all. For more information, their number is 828-277-9511. That's 828-277-9511, or visit them on the web at www.drypros.com. That's www.drypros.com.
Programming at 95.7 The Choice is made possible with the generous support of business partners like Area 22 Guitars. Area 22 Guitars is Western North Carolina's only boutique guitar shop. Whether it's an American-made all-tube hand-wired amp like Matchless, Divided by 13, Carr, or Fargen, or a U.S.-built custom luthier electric guitar brand like Anderson, PWE, Zion, Rowan, or Gatto, Area 22 Guitars specializes in the unique needs of the discerning musician. They carry a full line of boutique effect pedals like Keeley, Exotic, Rockbox, Menatone, and Wampler. And their acoustic guitars include Breedlove, Larrivee, Eastman, Bedell, and Crafter. Area 22 Guitars, not your average guitar shop. For more information, go to area22guitars.com or call them at 828-884-2222. That's 828-884-2222.
.7 The Choice would like to express our thanks to our business supporters like Ichiban School of Self-Defense. Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts provides a safe, family-oriented environment for people of all ages and skill levels to be able to train and prosper, both mentally and physically. Whether your interests are physical fitness, self-defense, competition, or just a healthy outlet for stress release, Ichiban Mixed Martial Arts will provide the tools to reach your goal. Their programs provide a well-rounded athletic approach to martial arts in a safe, fun, family environment. For more information, go to ichibanmma.com. That's ichibanmma.com, or call them at 828-423-0662. That's 828-423-0662.
Okay, we're back, and you're listening to God's Great Land of the Wild radio show, and I'm your host, Brent Robert, with my co-host, Samuel Lee, and we're talking turkey hunting the whole month of March. And you can find out more by going to facebook.com, God's Great Land of the Wild, and we have some great links there for some more information you can follow up on. And in the Outdoor Life segment, we're talking about how lone turkeys are easier to hunt. And this is true, okay? Absolutely true. And it's true on a number of levels, right? On hunting an old longbeard by himself, it's easier to bring him the bag than he's with a flock of turkeys, in my experience and in most times. Not a hard, fast rule, but I'd rather see him coming in by himself than with buddies. And as I prepare for the upcoming turkey season, I've been thinking about a number of the times I've had to wait to get a good shot off also when you got a group of toms, right, that I wanted. Because oftentimes, you know, I'm looking for the one that's got the biggest beard, got the biggest paintbrush, and I'm sort of like, that's the one I want, okay? But if they're with 4 or 5 other turkeys, you know, in and out, you're waiting for the right shot to get your bird. So that's one thing you got to wait on that weighs it against you. The other thing is, you've got extra sets of eyes. And we talked about this off air. Man, I've had them literally get close enough to see me blinking, okay, and then start putting because I was videotaping, had full head net, full camouflage, had leafage pulled over top of me, just my head was sticking out, camouflage camera.
I remember that.
And they see you blinking. I mean, come on. Now that bird was close, okay, but still, when you've got that many turkeys out there, you make a wrong move and they're gone, you know. Dude, they are so perceptive that I've actually seen great blue herons flying over top going down a river by where we hunt, and them thinking they're hawks or something, and they run off. It spooks the fire out of them. You know, so you're sitting there going, oh my gosh. But anyway, so, you know, when you've got a dozen eyes looking at you for the slightest danger, you know, it's a deadly game of agonizing nerves, because most of the times they come in slow, and they're watching, and they're perceptive. And minutes seem like hours, and hours seem like days when you're waiting for that time to go by, right? But when that Tom decides to go it alone and remove himself and distance himself from the group, that's when I'm able to pick him off. In a spiritual sense, I believe that Satan loves it when we remove ourselves from the consistent fellowship with other believers. Whether we recognize it or not, God often protects us and covers us with the encouragement and spiritual food we receive from His Word and by hanging out with other believers. Their words of friendship is often what keeps us from being picked off by Satan. Now, with that said, no church is perfect, and obviously, Samuel Lee. No friends are perfect, are they?
I am not.
No, me
That's for
neither.
sure.
Me neither, man. But and that is for sure, right? So we can't get blinded to the fact that, well, I'm not going to hang out with them because they're not perfect. Obviously, we all have flaws, but there's also benefit, and God's Word says there's benefit. As long as we're in the flock, so to speak, we're okay. But as soon as we decide to go it alone, we just put ourselves in a dangerous position.
Yeah.
Right? In John 1:6, we are told this: if we claim to have fellowship with Him, Jesus, and yet we walk in darkness, we lie, and the truth does not. We lie, and we do not live out the truth. And it's harder to live out the truth when I'm by myself, because my heart is deceitfully wicked above all things. And I can lie to myself. But when I have a good buddy like you that says, hey, you know, when you did that, and sometimes that's hard to take, but at the same time, it's good to have, as iron sharpens iron, you said last week. So one brother sharpens another. Mm-hmm. It's good to have brothers like that. It's good to be with a group of believers that are running in the same direction you are pacing themselves. You know, it's good to have believers that are running harder and faster, been training longer than you, that I can look up to. Yeah. And it's good to have believers that are wanting to get where you're at, that you can train. But it's really good to have guys that are running the same race with you, right? So it is God's design for us to be in fellowship with other believers so that we can help strengthen each other along life's journey. Make sure you're in fellowship with other believers who can help you and hold you accountable and build your family and you up in faith in Jesus Christ. And hey, if you're looking for a church of outdoorsmen that like to hunt and fish, Sam and I are right over at Bent Creek Baptist Church on most Sundays.
That's right.
You know, sometimes we're gone separate, but we're there. If you're looking for a home, just show up looking for us, because you can see our faces on the Facebook.com, God's Great Land of the Wild, and we'll be more than happy to introduce you to other believers, other outdoorsmen, but more than happy to introduce you to Jesus Christ or to fellowship with you. This is Brent and Sam. Enjoy God's creation. We'll talk next week on God's Great Land of the Wild radio show. God bless.